Dad. Remember our conversation the other day? About federal funding for political parties?
Yes, Shebu, I remember. You thought that the federal government spent $27 million on cake and cookies and whatnot.
Ha, 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 yes I did, Daddy. But now I understand that $27 million is being given directly to the political organizations to pay for things such as research, campaign ads and to pay support staff. I realize now that the purpose of the federal support is so that the political parties do not become dependent on contributions from corporations, unions and other special interest groups. It helps keep the political parties independent.
Yes, indeed it does, Shebu. And we also discussed how the Conservative Party wants to end support for federal funding for political parties. The Conservatives say that they want to do this because they need to cut spending, but we really know that this is another example of the Conservatives' use of the propaganda technique of the big lie. The Conservatives want to end federal funding for political parties because they think it will put their opponents, the Liberal Party, the NDP and the Bloc Québécois at a disadvantage.
Right, Dad? Well, just last night Wendy Mesley reported on CBC TV's The National the amount of money each federal political party received in federal funding. And guess what, Dad?
What, Shebu?
The Conservative Party received $10.4 million in federal funding.
Really? What about the other parties, Shebu?
Well, the Liberal Party received $7.3 million and the NDP received $5 million.
You don't say.
Yes. And that's not all. The Conservative Party also received $17.5 million in private contributions. So they had a total of about $27.9 million to spend.
Well, that's quite a lot. What about the other political parties?
The Liberal Party received about $7 million in private contributions, so they had a total of $14.3 million. And the NDP received about $4.5 million, for a total of $9.5 million.
So that means that the Conservative Party had more money in total to spend than the Liberals and the NDP combined.
Yes, Dad. So I began to wonder. If the Conservative Party is so keen on saving money, why did they accept a federal funding from the government? They could have just said no to the $10.4 million they received in federal funding. Even if they hadn't taken the $10.4 million, they would have still had more money than the Liberal Party, all of it coming from private contributions? Why did they take the money, Dad? Why?
Well, I think the answer is obvious, Shebu. They're not really interested in saving money for the federal government. They have a win at all costs attitude, so they are going to take the money, even if it does give them much more money to spend than the other parties.
So their main goal in ending federal support for the political parties is not to save money for the government, but is instead to weaken the other parties by taking away their federal funding?
Yes, Shebu, I'm afraid so. It's as if the Conservative Party were playing shinny with the poor kids from another neighborhood who cannot afford skates. Not only did they want to make sure that the poor kids can't afford skates, but they also want to take their sticks away from them.
Well, Dad, that would hardly be a fair match, would it, Dad?
No, Shebu, it wouldn't. But who said the Conservatives played fair? They think fairness is for suckers, son.
Shebu, Dad. I'm a girl bear, remember?
Right. Sorry. Shebu.